What's up, guys? We are past Christmas, past Thanksgiving, past the New Year's. Hope everybody had a good one of all of those. We've been back at it this week. We took Wednesday off. We worked a short day on Tuesday and really got started on this yesterday, and it went pretty well. I've been working on this slide design since before we did the roof on our camper, just trying to figure out where all the water's coming from. And until we got them opened up, I didn't understand a lot of it. We're going to do a little bit of a walk around here. Noah's got some pictures already, and we're going to take this step by step because we're changing a lot of stuff. Just for a recap, if you're just catching up, Jordan's going to live in this for 5 weeks at a time and then take a week off and then go back. He's on a job site on this thing. So our goal has been insulation and water kind of at the same time. The insulation is pretty straightforward. What we're doing out here, there's actually an extra inch of insulation. Say that 10 times. On the outside, it's still, when we measure this out, you've got 102 is your max width. We're going to end up at just under 100. So we're still well within where we need to be legal. But what we're doing is we're getting rid of the aluminum heat transfer from the outer skin through the aluminum tubes into the inside of the camper. Especially in the summertime, they turn into just a toaster and they heat the inside of the trailer up. In the wintertime, everybody right now, it's funny to see a lot of stuff. It's not funny. It's actually sad, but yeah, it's ironic, I guess, whatever the word is. I see a lot of people living in these things full time right now, and their walls are sweating. I saw somebody that had a 2024 camper, and it's got a front pass through on it. The mattress is over the pass through, and they pulled their mattress up. They've only been in it like 6 months, and they've got black mold under the mattress. What's happening is, if this was the inside of the trailer in the wintertime, these tubes are getting cold. There's not enough insulation in these things. So the wall gets cold. There's too much humidity inside, and you reach the dew point at the walls sweat, and it causes all kinds of problems. If you start getting rid of the heat transfer, that's what insulation's for. This 1-inch piece on the outside is an R5. Then there's an 1-inch piece of foam. This trailer came in here with 1 inch of open cell foam. We're going back with 1 inch of rigid foam, closed cell foam on in the wall structure itself, the original wall structure, 1 inch of foam on the outside, and then a 1/2 inch will go in on the inside. And what we're trying to do is, again, just get that thermal break between the tubes. The other nice thing about the 1/2 inch on the inside is it takes care of a lot of the imperfections that happen in the manufacturer. When they build these things, you can't see it until you open these things up, but the walls make wiggles. So the 1/2 inch will straighten up the plywood or the sheeting that we're using. It's also a really nice, the foam to this glue or the foam to the wood with the glue that we're using does a really good job of bonding, and it's permanent once it's there. So with the 1 inch coming out here, now the slide is recessed. There's going to be a new seal in here. You guys have never seen this. This is me getting rid of some of this crappy design. I don't know how far away we are from showing it, but once I've got it installed, I'll do another video and we'll talk about that. There's no seals in here yet, but there will be. Up at the top, there's a 35-degree angle that's angled up. So the wall comes down, and then there's an angle going back this direction. So the outside wall on top of this slide becomes a drip edge. Water doesn't travel uphill. What I've seen in a lot of these campers is when they're setting at a campsite and you're just a little off, you're not exactly level. And let's say that you're tilted this way, the old seals would allow water to travel horizontally and then they run down, they run into the structure. What I'm doing, the chamfer goes past the slide. When it's out, it's past the slide about 3 inches. So there's a drip edge there. And if it's either going to run, it's going to drip straight down. It won't touch anything because there's nothing there to catch it. It'll run over into the corner on the outside and it'll run down here. It won't get inside. It's still outside. Or it'll run over and drip onto the slide, and the slide roof is angled and it's designed to come down on the outside also. So there's a lot of reasons to have that edge up there, and that's the first design. I'm actually going to hit pause here. We're going to tie some pictures in here. We're going to reset the camera, and I'm going to go over to the other side of the trailer that isn't done. So let's hit pause and I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. This is the small slide on the opposite side. You can see the inside of the slide a little bit, but this is what it looks like. The only thing that we've done here is add the floor material back. We've already glued all this in. We also run a seam sealer right here to get all this tightened up. This is the little piece that they put in from the factory, and it actually doesn't even fit up next to the wall. There's a gap here, but this is their solution to a catch for water that comes down. It barely comes inside the slide, and if water does come in, it's actually going to run out and run onto the floor. And as soon as it runs onto the floor, it's going to start to delaminate, and we have all kinds of problems. That's one of the reasons we're going to get the walls in. We're going to get the interior sheeting in. Once the interior sheeting is in, before we do any kind of utilities or anything like that in this thing, we're going to take the slides back out. We'll have all this fit and done. And then we're going to come in, we're going to tape around the sides. We're going to be up about this far on the wall on the inside, and all of this floor, front to back, up the sides, it'll wrap around here and go underneath. And then we're going to tie that in later. But this whole thing is going to be waterproof. The floor, you could throw a 10-gallon bucket of water, 5-gallon bucket of water in the middle of this thing, and it's not going to go anywhere. It may run out, but it's not going to go into the floor. So this piece is going to go away. You see this cut out in here. That's for the slide action to do its thing. There's a bar that sets in here. There's action that needs to go in. So this is actually a really good thing. And this is a great place for water to go, but it's not constructed correctly. They're using this piece. This piece doesn't do anything because it misses on all marks. It's kind of ridiculous. So when we bring all of this together, put the new slide design, the whole point behind all of this is, first of all, if water does get past the seal that we're constructing, then it's going to hit waterproof membrane and it's not going to hurt anything. But I'm doing everything that I can in the slide seal construction that I'm doing here. Again, I'll show it when I get it done. I'm doing everything I can to seal this area up so that water comes in and it stops right here on the outside of the trailer. If it does get into the seal mechanism, it can still go straight down and it's not going to be in the camper. It would actually have to get past all of this and still get inside. With the slide in, I don't see how it's going to happen. With the slide out, you'll see some of the construction as we go along here. There's going to be a gasket up against the wall. So the water is still going to, it's basically going to travel right down here. It's not going to have any place to go. And this is going to be the only area of collection. And the way I'm setting this out, if it does try to get all the way down to this point, I'm going to give it a place to get out, not hang out. And then again, this is all going to be waterproof. The other issue that we run into, and Noah, this is insert those pictures that we've taken. They've got tons and tons of screws and holes. The seals are not waterproof. The seals are the flapper seals. They screw them in with zip screws, and there's a dozen zip screws just on this tube. And then this tube is hollowed here at the bottom. We see this all the time too. There's a piece of wood in here. They're using that to screw into for a little bit of structure. We see this all the time. This wood's rotting in here. Well, it's rotting because water's getting into these screw holes and it's running inside the tube. It goes down and it just, there's all kinds of places that these things can get water into. There's water or holes all across here. So again, we've got to put a membrane in, we've got to redo a seal, we've got to put different materials together. All of this material is available, but gosh, these slide seals are from the 70s, 60s. I don't know when they started the slide seals the way they have them today, but it's been a really long time and they don't work. So that's what we're doing. We've got, I think for Jordan's sake, the back wall's insulated. I think you can see that in the shot. When we started when we started tear down, the back wall had 1.5 inches of fiberglass on it. The fiberglass was wet. The whole back wall was rotten. We see that all the time because the transition at the top, the water gets it gets into the back wall. As soon as fiberglass insulation's wet, there is no insulation value. And 1.5 inches of fiberglass insulation, you can't call that insulation. So on this back wall, we're going back with 1.5 inch rigid. We've taken all of the wires out of the structure. We're actually going to put a wire chase on the inside of the wall, and then we're going to put another section of foam up before we put our paneling up. Back here, there's not going to be a window back here. This is the way Jordan wants it. There's going to be a big TV on the back wall. There's going to be a fireplace underneath it. There's going to be a mini split air conditioner for the main cabin up on top of that. You'll have some cabinets down either side. There's going to be a sound bar back here. And this is going to be the focal point for the back of the trailer. And then this slide, this is where Jordan hangs out. He sits in this chair. He can watch TV. It'll be on a swivel. And then he's going to have an office or a desk over there and some other stuff, another sofa going on over there. So we've completely changed this all around. This camper did not have a fireplace to begin with. It will when we're done. And we're also doing 2 mini splits. So there will be a main cabin mini split, and then there will be a bedroom mini split also. And they'll be on 2 separate zones, 2 separate thermostats. Everything will be separate from the bedroom and the living cabin. This originally had 1 rooftop AC that was ducted up front, and it was a 12,000 BTU air conditioner only. We're actually going up to, I forget the specs are on my desk, but something close to 20,000 BTUs between the cabin and the bedroom, and it'll be a heat pump design that will automatically switch from heating and cooling. It'll switch back and forth as it needs to work. So if there's a 40-degree night, Indiana happens all the time. It'll be 40 at night, and it could be 75 or 80 with full sun during the day. The heat pump system will switch back and forth. So that's all going to be in here. We've changed the lighting design around. There's the ceiling's going to change. The roof insulation's changing. And then finally the roof. But anyway, I think I've explained everything. Have I missed anything? I'm tired again, guys. Noah's tired. We got Joe in here part-time also. It looks like the way things are going, we're going to have him in here full-time here real soon. So anyway, we're past the holidays and we're going to get back at it first of the week. Keep putting this thing together. I want to get it out of here as soon as possible at this point. So anyway, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, go to Facebook, check us out, Gregory's Garage Indy and all that. Happy Jazz, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all those other things that we do. So we're off to the races. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you later. Later, guys.